Hi, this is Sherry Mumford with Stamping at Last. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this beautiful card. Now, I started off with the World of Good Sweet Collection. It's in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, the annual catalog. Starts on page 24. It comes with this beautiful designer series paper, this beautiful roll stamp set, and there's also dies called World Map dies, which I used to make this card. We'll get started by showing you what size papers you need. Now, my card base for this card is in Misty Moonlight. That's one of our current in colors. You'll need a card base of 8.5 by 5.5, and you need to score it landscape at 4.25. Then I also use this piece of designer series paper from the collection. Here's a quick glance at the different papers in this collection. We'll be using this one, and this one, but look how pretty all of these are. These are just absolutely gorgeous. There's so many cards I'm going to make with this collection. You're also going to need 5.25 by 4 for the inside of the card. You'll notice I did stamp on designer series paper for this video. It just had such a nice subtle background. You're going to need a 5 by 3 3/8 of whichever pattern you want, but I chose this one. And then after you cut it by 5 3 3/8, I'll show you on this video, we're going to then cut it into 1 1/8 inch strips. We'll have 3 strips, 5 by 1 1/8. But I cut the large one to start with to keep my pattern. We'll also need a piece of cinnamon cider paper. This is also from the current In Colors collection, and some gold foil paper. You can use scraps for your gold foil paper. It doesn't take a whole lot to make this globe. So you can start off by taking your 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Misty Moonlight. We're going to go ahead and burnish it on the score line. And then we're going to tape this cinnamon cider colored designer series paper to the front of the base. For this, I'm just going to use some of my Tombow glue. The thing I like about this glue is it does give you an opportunity to readjust if it's not lined up correctly to start off with. You'll have just a few moments to rearrange it. See what's the right direction. I think I like this direction because I see some print on there, so I want to be sure it's right side up. So just center this on the front of the card. Next, I'll take this piece of paper, the 5 by 3 3/8, and I'm going to cut it into 3 1 1/8 inch strips. So the first one I'll just cut right there at 1 1/8. The next one I'll do on this side, I think it'll be easy for me to hold on to it. 1 1/8. And I'm going to make sure I follow this pattern when I adhere them to my card. I'm going to line them up to see about how much space I have. And then I'm going to glue the outside ones first. So I'll start with the one on the left side. Next, I'm going to do the one on the right. And now I'll do the one in the middle. Now I'm going to pull in the parts for my globe. When I adhere this globe, I'm going to line it up in this space between these two pieces of paper. That way it's easier for me to get my globe straight. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this, just the base. I'm not going to glue this top part just yet. Then I'm going to put some glue on the back of this piece. Now these pieces for the globe I cut out using the rolled map dies. I used one of the globes. I used the tall stand. If you wanted to, you could use a short stand, but I chose the tall stand and one of those, and it has the circle for the background. This is the rolled map dies. It's part of that bundle. Just going to put some glue in some few places on this globe. Now when I put this globe, I'm going to glue it underneath this and kind of see where I want it to go. Okay. About like that. And then I'm just going to put a dot of glue right under here and right under here, just on those two sides. I'm going to give a little pressure for just a couple moments. Make sure it's going to stay down. Okay, so we're almost through at the front. This is super easy. Now for this greeting, you make the world a better place. I used the stamp set Beautiful World, this one, and on the inside I'm going to say thank you for being part of mine. But I am going to use the Misty Moonlight ink on this, and I'm going to use a piece of my scrap paper from this designer series paper selection. So I'm going to get my ink. I'm going to pull in a piece of other paper just to kind of practice my ink on to be sure it's inked really well. Yeah. I love this set. So okay. While I've got the ink out, I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of the card as well. For the inside, I did use this same designer series paper. I just like how subtle it is, and it gives it a little more than just a plain white or plain off-white type paper. Now, if I'm not using my Stamparatus, I want to be sure that my greeting is going to be straight on the inside. And this is what it's going to look like on the inside. So, and I don't put the tags on the back of my stamps. I just like them without the tags. I like the way they stick to the blocks. So in order to see if it's going to be straight, I line up the top of my block with this line. And it looks like it's pretty straight. So I'm just going to do that again here. Now, if it were leaning some, if it were kind of down on one end or the other, when I stamped this piece of paper, I would have just adjusted it depending on how it turned out here. But this looks like it's going to be perfect. So I line it up evenly. 8 is the middle line, and it's 4 inches, so 6 and 10. That way I try to stay straight with this line and center it based on this middle line. Then also, I like this little compass. So I'm going to stamp it again on some other paper, just to be sure I'm getting it straight and the right directions. Well, that one's upside down, so let me turn it this way. I want my north, south, east, west to be printed correctly. Right, there's east, west. Okay, so this is the right direction. This also came from the same stamp set. It just kind of decorates the inside a little bit. And that stamp was this one right there. So now for this tag that I stamped, I'm going to use a punch. I'm going to use my note tag punch. Now this one is retired, but there are like 3 other really cute punches close to the same size in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. So any of those will do. I just really like this one. I use it for a lot of things. If I go this way, it's going to go like that. So I'm going to cut this so I can go from the opposite direction. Like this. Yeah. And I did sponge around this one, so I'm going to sponge this one as well with my Misty Moonlight. I just want a little bit of outline there at the edge. That will help it stand out a little bit on my card. Okay, now I'm going to use dimensionals to pop up this greeting. This is a beautiful card, and it takes so little time to make. And now I'm just going to adhere my message on the inside. Same thing, I'm going to use the Tombow glue again. And there you have it. Fast and easy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.